How do you find something that was never lost? How do you arrive at what never left? How do you reach what is already here? These are not riddles for the intellect. They are invitations to stop, to look, to question the very premise of seeking. And yet, across time, cultures, and traditions, we hear the same call. Practice, discipline your mind, meditate, seek earnestly. We're told to strive, to purify, to let go, to climb the mountain of awakening. And at the same time, these very teachings whisper a strange contradiction. There's nowhere to go, there's nothing to become, and no separate self to reach enlightenment. So which is it? Should we try harder, or stop trying entirely? Should we meditate for hours, or drop all effort and simply be? This is the paradox of effort, at the heart of what many call the pathless path, a path that appears only when we walk it, and disappears the moment we try to possess it. Today on the pathless path, we explore this sacred tension, the dance between doing and non-doing, between striving and surrender, between discipline and grace. We'll ask, what is the role of effort in a journey where there's ultimately nothing to attain? How do we honor the longing that calls us inward, without turning it into another project of the ego? And what happens when the one who seeks finally stops and sees that what was sought is what's seeing? Most spiritual journeys begin with a yearning, a quiet, persistent longing for something more. You want peace, you want freedom, you want to know the truth not just intellectually, but in your bones. So, you begin the search. You read sacred texts, you sit in meditation, you chant, you pray, you breathe with intention. You go on retreats, follow teachers, explore ancient paths, and slowly, something begins to shift. There are moments brief but undeniable, where the noise fades, where the mind loosens its grip, where a quiet stillness is felt beneath the surface of things. A deeper presence, wordless and vast. These glimpses give you hope. They seem to confirm you're on the right path. And yet, strangely, a tension begins to arise. The more earnestly you seek, the more awakening seems just out of reach. You meditate harder, try to be more present. You chase peak experiences, signs, confirmations. But the clarity that once came effortlessly now feels elusive. You're no longer resting your striving. It becomes like chasing your own shadow. The faster you run, the farther it flees. The more you grasp at stillness, the more restless you become. It's as if the very act of seeking creates the illusion that what you're looking for is somewhere else. Always just ahead, never quite here. And that's the great irony of the spiritual search. The seeker is the very thing that veils what is sought. The one who wants to awaken is the illusion and the truth. It's not hiding, it's not far. It's what remains when the seeking stops, when effort ceases, when the mind no longer needs to become, and simply allows itself to be. Some traditions, like Zen and Advaita, Vedanta, speak of the pathless path, but what does that really mean? It means that awakening is not a destination you reach by effort, time, or accumulation. You're not becoming something new. You're not building a better version of yourself. And you're not journeying towards some far-off truth. Instead, you are removing what conceals what's always been true. Like clouds parting to reveal the sun. The light was never missing. It was only covered for a while. Awareness, your true nature, is not elsewhere. It's not hidden in a cave or buried in years of practice. It's already here, already shining, always present, always now. It doesn't need to be built, earned, or achieved. It simply needs to be seen. And here's the subtle irony. From this perspective, any effort to become enlightened can actually reinforce the illusion that there's a separate self who needs to get somewhere. A seeker chasing a goal, a me trying to wake up. But the truth is, there is no path, no traveler, only the timeless presence that has never left and never needed to arrive. Here comes the paradox. If there's nowhere to go, if awakening can't be earned, achieved, or possessed, then why meditate? Why inquire? Why sit in silence? Follow the breath, watch the thoughts, ask who am I? Why do anything at all? Here's the answer, subtle but vital. Practice doesn't create the sun, it cleans the window. The light is already shining, the truth is already here. but the mind, busy, clouded, restless, obscures it like dust on glass. Effort isn't about forcing a breakthrough. It's not about building a bridge to somewhere else. It's about revealing what's always been present, but hidden beneath layers of conditioning, belief, and noise. Like muddy water in a jar. You don't make it clear by stirring. You make it clear by letting it settle. Clarity isn't something you conquer, it's something you allow. And that's what real practice is. Not striving for a future moment, but making space for presence to shine. It's not self-improvement, it's self-improvements. The paradox is, yes, there's nothing to do, but until that's deeply seen, there's something in us that feels compelled to do. And so we practice, not to awaken, but to see that we are not the one who awakens. We are the awareness that was never asleep. In non-dual teachings, this is key. A subtle, yet world-shifting realization. You can act. Without acting as someone, the body moves. Words are spoken. Decisions appear to arise. Life unfolds in its usual rhythm. But the weight, the burden of personal doorstep, quietly dissolves. You are no longer the author, straining to script each moment. You are the space in which the story writes itself. You can still meditate, journal, inquire, but not as a means to fix, to strive, to become better. Not to chase awakening like a prize, but because stillness, when given attention, naturally blossoms into insight, naturally returns to itself, like a flower opening not from force, but from the warmth of the sun. Action still happens, but not from lack, not from egoic need, fear, or comparison. It flows from fullness, from presence, simply expressing itself, like wind through trees, or music through silence. This is the shift, from I must awaken, to allowing awakening to unfold. In the very space where striving once stood, no longer a me climbing the mountain, gripping each ledge, eyeing the summit with desperation, but rather, the quiet, almost humorous realization. There is no mountain, and I was never the climber. Instead, I am the sky, spacious, open, still untouched by the weather, unaffected by the journey. And the mountain, just another beautiful form appearing, dissolving, within what I've always been. No path to follow, no goal to reach, just this, the unmoving awareness in which all movement arises. Act without the actor, do without the doer, and the path walks itself. Wu Xin. Eventually, something quietly, almost imperceptibly falls away. The seeker, not because you gave up or failed, but because something deeper was seen, that the one who was seeking was never truly separate, never truly there. You realize, there was never a you apart from the whole. No one outside of reality is trying to get back in. The search collapses, not into despair but into clarity, into peace. And yet, life continues. The practices may still arise. Meditation, prayer, presence, but now they come from stillness, not striving. They are no longer tools to get somewhere. They are simply expressions of what is already whole. Like waves dancing on the surface of an ocean that is already at rest. There is no longer a goal at the end of the road, because the road itself was imagined. The paradox untangles itself. There is no path, there never was. And the most beautiful realization of all, you were never not this, not for a second, not in your confusion, not in your seeking, not even in your forgetting. This presence, this awareness was always here, watching, holding, being, patiently waiting for you to stop running so you could see, you never left. So what does it mean to walk the pathless path? It means you don't need to get anywhere, because the destination is not in the future. It's not somewhere else. It's not something to reach. You are not climbing toward the truth. You are relaxing into it. You are remembering what was never lost. You are coming home, to the place you never left. But that doesn't mean you stand still or do nothing. This isn't passivity, it's presence. It means your actions no longer come from lack, not from the need to prove or perfect, but from stillness, from fullness. You begin to listen deeply, to silence, to life, to the subtle rhythm beneath all things. You begin to move lightly, without clinging, without pushing, like wind through trees, like clouds across the sky. You live with presence, not as a technique, not as a goal, but as a natural unfolding. You may still meditate, still inquire, still sit with a journal or a mantra or the breath, but no longer to improve the imagined self or become someone better. You practice now simply to see more clearly, to notice what gets in the way, to let the false, the rigid, the fearful fall away, to become transparent to the truth that has always been shining beneath the noise. And if effort arises, let it arise. But feel the difference now. It is no longer your effort. It is not personal. It's life itself moving, unfolding, dancing. Effort becomes grace and motion, like waves rolling in from nowhere, going nowhere, dissolving back into the sea from which they came. Even the idea of awakening, that glittering goal that once drove the search, is seen for what it is. Just another wave, another thought, another shimmering ripple on the surface of now. Let it rise, let it fall. Don't chase it, don't hold it, don't resist. Rest here in this, in the simplicity of being. Walk, if you must. Act, if life moves through you to do so. But walk gently, knowing there is no path to follow, no ground to cover, no self to arrive. Because in the end, you are what you seek. The truth was never hidden. It is what's looking through your eyes, what's listening through your ears, what's breathing this very breath. You've been home all along. You just forgot to notice. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into truth, being, and awareness. Comment below, how do you walk the pathless path? And we'll see you on our next video.